Everyone, and welcome back to I Will Teach You Java. This is lesson 3, and this is where we left off in the previous video. We created our first objects and our first classes, and we also called methods on those objects. So in this case we had say hello and we had print title, which is two different methods on two different objects. And our objects in this case were my greeter and my book. And something we also mentioned a bit, I think, is that we have on the left hand side here, the class here also defines something we call a type. That will be relevant to understand very soon, so we can put that in our memory for a short while now. But another interesting in Java, another possibility is that we can actually save our objects in something called a collection. Because you might imagine you have a game where you have different set of players, or you have projects or product, and you want to collect these different products for a website or a web shop. And the way you do that in any programming language, but also in Java, is that you put them in something called a collection. And arrays are one type of collection, and you write them the following way. So now we created a collection type of books, of the book type, and it can hold 10 different items. And I think it would be good to illustrate how this looks internally. So basically we have these placeholders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the way we add things to this collection is by calling another method, or actually writing it this way. And then telling it basically replace this first with this on the right hand side. So after that statement, the collection would be like this. And we can also repeat the statements for the second place. Which yields the collection like this. And now we can query the list and say, okay, how many items do you have? That would be handy. And if we take a look at the methods, we see here something called a length. And when you look at it, you would probably assume it will tell you the length of the number of items. And we can try to see what the print statement says. So our familiar print statement will allow us to see what happens. So you see 10 instead of 2. We know we have 2 items, but we can't actually find out that this collection holds 2 items. We only know that there are 10 placeholders or 10 spots. So there are different ways that we will look at how we can do this, but before, we're going to see another collection called ArrayList, which is a bit smarter and allow us to query the collection and tell us immediately how many items it's holding. And the way you write that is basically write list followed by these tags and the book type. Then you have the variable name, so you can name it all my books, and you can do the following way to create your array list. And if it happens that you don't have these import statements, IntelliJ will complain, and basically you can either hover on it or just put the cursor there and press Alt Enter, which will import the class. And the same here for ArrayList, Alt Enter, import class, and there you go. Now we would assume that all my books also have methods for putting things in the collection. But notice here we didn't say how many items we wanted to have, because ArrayList is something different, because it's a dynamic collection which will grow as you put more items into it. But let's repeat our procedure above. We can add my book twice and then query the see if we can find out how many items all my books is holding. So we see there's something called size. We don't have something called length. That's only for arrays. So let's put size here and see what will be printed. Alright, 2. So that's a bit, I guess, closer to our example, and I think we have also finished all the examples for arrays here. And in this video, let us repeat what we've done. We created an array of book, and we also created something called an array list, because we found that this type of book is a bit static and not so smart as array list. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.